So, now you'd give the devil benefit of law?
Yes, what would you do? Cut a great road through the law to get after the devil?
Yes! I'd cut down every law in England to do that.
Oh? And when the last law was down and the devil turned round on you, where would you hide, Roper, the laws all being flat? This country is planted thick with laws from coast to coast, man's laws, not God's, and if you cut them down, and you're just a man to do it, do you really think you could stand upright in the winds that would blow then?
That's a scene from A Man for All Seasons where he defends upholding the law even for the devil, because the devil will turn around and use the law against the innocent if he's able. Yesterday, the courts acquitted Jian Ghomeshi on all accounts of sexual assault and choking. The reason is because the witnesses were seen as unreliable because they had lied under oath. Judge William Horkin had said, the harsh reality is once a witness is shown to be deceptive and manipulative in giving their evidence, that witness can no longer expect the court to consider them to be a trusted source of the truth. But that doesn't stop the social justice warriors from protesting. In fact, they seem to have been planning this protest since last week because they knew that there was a high chance he was going to be found not guilty. They want to reform the system to, quote-unquote, protect sexual assault survivors. This is what Vice wrote on it. The way the court system works right now, it doesn't protect sexual assault survivors, Jessica LePage, a volunteer at a rape crisis center, told Vice News. It's protecting rapists and the people who assault survivors. This is a way for us to say, right now, it's not a fair process and should change to make it fair, she said. They are pushing to erode due process when it comes to sexual violence, and feminist groups are not pulling any punches to see this through. They're using emotionally manipulated campaigns like We Believe Survivors, hinting that if you believe in due process, that you are accomplice to some nefarious scheme. They are also using misleading statistics like 460,000 sexual assaults and only 0.3% of them result in conviction. Now I'm just going to break this down right now. This is a chart from the YWCA. 460,000 comes from a telephone survey the government runs to find out victims of crime. It's self-reporting, which is highly unreliable for obvious reasons, and only 50% of them respond to the survey. 460,000 responded to have been sexually assaulted in the last 12 months. Sexual assault was classified either as a sexual attack, which is a rape or something that caused physical injury, or unwanted sexual touching, like a butt grab in public. Only around 5% reported to police compared to 40% of physical assault. But they included incidents which are less harmful, unlike physical assault, which are more likely to be damaging than, say, an unwanted touch. So this graph here has two different reports combined into one, which is very deceptive. The 1,033 come from the General Social Survey, which is the telephone survey I talked about, and the rest is police data that they have to report. To put it on the same scale is incredibly deceptive, they're totally different metrics, and one is very unreliable. Like seriously, in comparing 33 incidents taken to police versus 29 actually reporting it is incredibly dishonest because it makes it look like the police don't even bother reporting it. These are from two different reports measured with two different metrics, and one of them is very unreliable, which is the 33. Anyways, I think you should be aware of this data. Criminal lawyers like David Budd are calling to reform the system to shift the power in favor of the alleged victim. He will empower complainants by giving them their own lawyer paid for by the state. And he says, more sexual violence cases should go through the civil process because there are certain advantages for the complainants. Unlike the criminal system, the burden of proof is a balance of probabilities instead of a standard of beyond reasonable doubt. So what you want is set up another human rights tribunal except for sexual crimes, right? Yeah, those aren't abusive. Seriously, Canadians hate the CHRT because it violates individual liberties for personal profit and gives much more power to abusers. Seriously, what would stop an angry ex-lover from burning her ex through the system? It would be like the divorce courts, except it would be extended to lesser committed relationships and marriage. What we need to do is stand by due process.
No free man shall be seized or imprisoned, or stripped of his rights or possessions, or outlawed or exiled, or deprived of his standing in any other way, except by the lawful judgment of his equals, or by the law of the land. To no one will we sell, to no one deny or delay right or justice.
Due process is a legal requirement that the state must respect all legal rights that are owed to a person. Due process balances the power of the law of the land and protects the individual person from it. Innocence till proven guilty must be attained. If we shift the balance of power or create havoc in the land, what will protect you and your loved ones once it's struck down? And if you bring down one law, then what about the next? Or the next one after that? And if all the laws on land are laid flat, what will protect you when public opinion turns against you? What about the victim, you ask? I believe in survivors, you say. I say you're an idiot, and I don't believe in giving in to your foolishness. If they they're a victim, they can prove it in the court system beyond a reasonable doubt, and justice will be seen to them. And to run to the press and the mob to exact vengeance on your behalf. We are civilized, or at least I hope we are, and to use the institutions that have been given to us. Are they perfect? No. But what you're offering is far more abusive and corrupt than what we have. I'm sick and tired of SJWs going through the media and taking a high moral stance through duplicity and bullying. I feel like we're busy trying to expose their duplicity and knocking them off their high horses. Let's take the high moral stance instead. I demand due process. We want fair trials and innocence till proven guilty, which is our right. Let's demand it. Let's tell the public it's a just thing to do. I'm going to start a hashtag of my own. Hashtag iDemandDueProcess. I'm going to use their tactics against them. They prostrate themselves as defender of victims, and now they need to explain why they're against due process. Let's put them in a place to defend their unjust positions and watch them stumble.